I've failed at a lot of things in my life. You got to take those failures as just like small setbacks. The only way in life that you can truly fail is if you die. You want to feel those negative emotions because you want to feel that something didn't go as planned, that you didn't reach your goal. And those negative emotions should help fuel you to keep going towards that end goal. Say this taught me a lesson. This introduced me to something that I don't want to do for the rest of my life. Do not be afraid of failure, because a lot of people think that failure is bad. Everybody who has been successful in life has to fail. Welcome to the Mongoose Mindset Podcast. My name is Luke McLeod. I am the creator of Mongoose Mindset. And at the age of 12 years old, I started my fitness journey. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, which I started losing some weight and I didn't know how to do it, which ultimately led me down a road of developing an eating disorder. I then came out of that, got back into the high school, got into sports, got into weightlifting. Then after high school, I moved to Louisville, Kentucky and trained and ultimately became a professional wrestler. And now I'm out here in Southwest Virginia doing school or college, and I've started this Mongoose Mindset thing up on the side just to help me out and help you out as people out there in the world. So today's episode is going to be about how you should react to failure. And I've failed at a lot of things in my life, but you got to take those failures as just like small setbacks. You can't say it's truly failing, because I feel like the only way in life that you can truly fail is if you die. Because, I mean, you're living. That's you haven't failed yet if you're still living. And if you do something and you don't do good at it, or it doesn't end up the way you like it, then that's just one little small setback. Whether you still want to reach that goal that you want, or you moved on from that goal, you figured out that it wasn't something you want. Like, for example, I thought I wanted to be a professional wrestler right after high school. I moved out there and I loved it at the time. I was all into it, did everything I could to be that the whole time I was there. But then towards the end of me being there, I realized that, hey, this isn't what I want. This is beating up my body too much. And it was overall taking away from my goal of overall just bodybuilding and getting bigger in general. Not that the sport doesn't promote lifting weights and stuff, because you got to be in shape. You got to look good as a professional wrestler, because you got to entertain people and be that type of role model. But just the overall lifestyle of it wasn't contributing the way I needed it to for specifically bodybuilding and wanting to get bigger, especially because my genetics are really subpar. And when you're reacting to failure, whether it's in business, relationships, whatever in life, you can, I guess, feel those negative emotions at first, because you want to feel those negative emotions because you want to feel that something didn't go as planned, that something that you didn't reach your goal, that it didn't go the way you wanted to. And those negative emotions should help fuel you to keep going towards that end goal. However, you don't want to dwell on it for so long, because if you dwell on it forever, then you'll never act in going forward to fix the situation that you're in or continue to try to reach your goals. Like, I don't dwell on me not being able to be, I guess, as big as or as genetically gifted as some other kids my age are, because I see a lot of kids my age who, they're shredded six-pack abs, which I have abs and everything, but they're huge. Like, they're younger than me and they're bigger than me, and they haven't nearly been doing it as long as me or put as much effort that I put into it as the type of training and like eating correctly, doing all the blood work and everything that needs to be done. Half of them don't do any of that. So it's kind of frustrating sometimes when you see people succeed at something, or they're doing better than you, just because of something they were born with, their genetics. But the longer you dwell on something like that, like not having the best genetics or everything, the longer you will never rebound from the failure or the negative emotions that you feel. Because if you're constantly dwelling on it, if you're constantly having those negative emotions and thoughts, you're never going to put in the action. That just promotes not doing anything a lot of the times. Because people, they feel sad, and what do they want to do? They want to delay doing anything else because they just feel sad. They just want to sit on the couch. They feel worthless. And feeling worthless can be good and it can be bad, because if you feel worthless, that should motivate you wanting to do better and have a better quality life. Or it could do the opposite and just lead you down a bad hole. But you have to realize what you're feeling and like react to it, but react to it in a good, positive way that will hopefully lead you toward a positive outcome. So shift into more like positive thoughts. Like instead of I failed this, I failed that, say this taught me a lesson. This introduced me into a way, or introduced me to something that I don't want to do for the rest of my life, like professional wrestling. I would never go back and not go through that experience again, because it taught me a lot of things about life just in general. And then two, I learned something that this isn't what I want to do as a career for the rest of my life. And like I said, you never really fail at something unless you quit it and you love it. If you quit something because you love it, that's quitting, that's failing. Because why would you quit something if you truly love it, if you truly want to make that like your passion? And you quit it just because you think that you can't make it, or that somebody else thinks that you can't make it, that's bullcrap. Just keep going, man. Just keep pushing and fighting the odds, because eventually it will add up. And if it doesn't, keep going anyway, because if you truly love it, who's stopping you? The only person who's stopping you is yourself. And you just have to realize that it takes time to reach those goals, to get, higher wherever you want to go and whatever you want to do. It takes time. A lot of people these days, they don't like to hear that, because they want that, instant gratification. They want to feel that feeling of, this feels good. I got that. I got this. Because they're just so used to and conformed to the quick dopamine hits that, of everyday life. Like a lot of people scroll on their phone and stuff. And honestly, I hate social media. I really do. Like I used to go on there and kind of scroll a little bit when I was maybe about a year or two ago. But now I don't even go on there. The only thing I go on there for is just to post the reels for this, for the podcast, and promote the Mongoose Mindset business. But other than that, I hate social media. I really do. The only thing I listen to is just YouTube. I don't even watch the shorts. All I watch is just long form content, because I get more out of it, I feel like. And I get to hear people who have kind of the same opinions, or people that kind of enlighten me on different things that I can share to you as well. Like one guy I've been listening to a lot, his podcast, or his channel is called like the Mindset Mentor. And he really has a good, podcast or videos that he puts out that are really helpful for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people in the world. But yeah, just look at failure as something that you have to bounce back from, because not everybody's perfect, and it takes a long time to get good at something. And just because something didn't work out for you, that doesn't mean that it was a total failure. It just means that you're still learning and you're still uncomfortable on how to do it correctly yet. Nobody's ever going to do probably anything correctly 100%, because nobody's perfect. People always try to chase perfection, and perfection is not realistic. You can't be perfect, man. There's always something that's somebody's going to complain about, or it wasn't perfect. That one thing wasn't perfect. This wasn't perfect. That small little detail wasn't perfect. But you can't just get sucked up in perfection. You have to just go. Like, you obviously want to have quality work, and I'm trying to put out quality videos. I mean, today I don't really feel like I was feeling pretty good before I started filming this. I don't know what made me all of a sudden feel more tired, but I'm definitely stumbling over my words, which I cut out. Like, I know you can't see it, but there's been a bunch of times before this me talking where I'm probably gonna have to cut out a lot of this when I edit it, because I'm just having long pauses and can't really think for some reason. I'm just not mentally here today. But like I said, goals don't happen overnight. I mean, I started working out when I was 12 years old. I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to lose some weight because I was a little bit chubby, not too fat, not obese, but I was a little chunky. But once you hit that around the age that I was getting ready to get to, you usually kind of have that growth spurt, and that nutrition kind of helps grow you. I feel like what I've noticed over the years. I've seen some fat kids who come back over the summer in school, and they'll be tall and skinny, and complete opposite, because their body just used those nutrients just to grow, and it was storing them for when it did that. That's not always the case, obviously, but yeah, I made the mistake of, one, not eating enough food when I was doing the Navy SEAL stuff and working out way too much, overtraining, which led me to an eating disorder. And that nearly killed me, but I came out of that, got into weightlifting, overtrained on that again. I was doing the nutrition right this time, but still overtraining because I was just so committed that I wanted to get bigger and get stronger. But we all know, we should know, that you don't grow in the gym. You stimulate the muscles in the gym, and you grow when you recover. And then I went to professional wrestling, where it probably even went more to the extreme, because not only was I doing the professional wrestling, but I was still lifting weights. I was still going to the gym. I was still having to work I wasn't working a full-time job at first, but a part-time job at Petco, staying up really late, cooking my foods, not getting enough sleep, just overtraining and stuff. And I've came a long way since then and learned a lot of things. And that's the thing about Mongoose Mindset. I say act now, evolve forever, because no time is going to be perfect to act. You can plan all you want. No time is ever going to be the perfect time. You just have to act. You got to go for what you want now, because we're not promised tomorrow. And then evolve forever, because we're always learning from those actions that we take. So you take those actions, you learn from them, you evolve from them, and ultimately you'll become a better person and more knowledgeable, more comfortable doing the thing that you're doing. Kind of just like me talking right now. Like when I first started this video, like I said, I kind of don't feel like mentally there today. But now that I'm towards the end of the video, and not that I set a certain time limit on this, but I'm starting to get in my flow of speaking and stuff. And I still have mumbles and stumbles here and there. I don't have my speech perfect. I feel like I talk way too fast. I repeat stuff, like I'll say I and stutter kind of. And that's not even, just doing that just to do it. That's just how I talk. And I'm trying to get better with that by, talking more, speaking more, and repeating the same things, because the things that I believe, and if you repeat those same things through these videos, you'll eventually get better saying them. Like on my first episode of the Mongoose Mindset podcast, I couldn't say that back to back. I said like the Mindset Mongoose podcast, something weird like that. But now I can say the Mongoose Mindset podcast pretty comfortably. So just get to some point where you have purpose in life and find that thing and go after it. And do not be afraid of failure, because a lot of people think that failure is bad, but everybody who has been successful in life, or who has some success with something, has to fail. Because if you don't fail, you don't learn, you don't get better, you just stay stagnant. And those people who are afraid to fail, that's why they don't get far, because they never fail. They just live in the same stagnation to remain safe and essentially not fail, but they're failing in the long run because they're never going to meet their goal. So at the end of the day, you just have to find something that you truly love and you're truly passionate about, because you don't want to feel lost in life. And when you feel lost in life, it's hard to get through the day-to-day. So find something you're passionate about. And if you are feeling lost in life, feel free to watch this episode right here. I talk about, why you may be feeling lost in life and what are some ways that can lead you in the right direction to help you feel, less lost and more inbound on the trajectory that you want to go. So like always, act now, evolve forever, and don't be afraid of failure. Bye.